powered by Riverside.
Welcome to Seen and Heard podcast. I'm Sharon, your host, and tonight we are talking about Miss Tiffany Cross, who was let go by MSNBC today, right before midterms, when her voice is very much needed in this climate. So we're going to start off with thanking our sponsors first. Lulu Eye, Colored Contact Lenses online store. Ooey Barbecue in Nashville, Tennessee, off of Jefferson Street. Oye Coffee in Nashville. Those are my nephews. Hello, nephews. Atake, cooking bento, portable cooking bento lunch boxes. And Allison Global Community for education. So you can get your education on your own time and not have to get lost in student loans. So let's start here. So we're going to start here with the article from Variety. And it says, MSNBC cut ties unexpectedly with weekend host Tiffany Cross. Now, a lot of us didn't watch the news during the week because we were waiting for the weekend. And her weekend spot was very informative. And she was not a both sides type journalist. So that's another reason why everybody is really upset. I'm gonna discuss the reactions from a lot of other journalists, black journalists, especially particular. Tiffany Cross, the MSNBC weekend host, who is known for running the freewheeling Saturday commentary program Cross Connection, is leaving the NBC Universal-owned cable news outlet. Her production staff was informed of the decision Friday morning, according to three people familiar with the matter. MSNBC declined to make executives available for comment, and Cross could not be reached for immediate comment. This was all of a sudden they did this. Like, we have 3 days left until midterms, which is crucial at this moment, especially for the Black community and for people that needed to hear her voice. And for MSNBC to just do this at the last minute, they didn't even give her a chance to have a farewell show or anything. Melissa Ann Perry, I believe that MSNBC did that to Melissa Ann Perry as well, and Keith Olbermann. They did the same thing with them, so that's extra shady. MSNBC decided not to renew Cross's contract after 2 years. According to one of these people, and severed ties with her immediately. A rotating group of anchors will lead her weekend hours until a replacement is found, and the production staff assigned to her show are believed to likely stay in place. There has been speculation that Cross's relationship with MSNBC was becoming frayed, according to two of these people, with executives at the network growing concerned about the anchor's willingness to address statements made by cable news hosts on other networks, and indulging in commentary executives felt did not meet the standards of MSNBC or NBC News. And yet, the network is parting ways with an anchor who has proven popular with audiences it has sought to attract, Black viewers overall and Black female viewers in particular. Cross was an essential building block in MSNBC's efforts to add a broader range of diverse voices to its schedule. After competing in an on-air bake-off of sorts in 2020 with Jonathan Capehart and Zerlina Maxwell to fill weekend hours previously led by Joy Reid, Cross has presided over a loose but chatty program that she also promoted heavily on social media. Cross, a former Washington bureau chief for BET, had worked as a political analyst for MSNBC and was a former resident fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School's Institute of Politics. MSNBC has many options for Saturday hours. The new network has yet to announce a place for Jen Psaki, the former White House press secretary, who is slated to launch a new program on cable and streaming in months to come. But it also has an array of recent hires like Katie Fang or Simone Sanders it could also utilize. This is a bad move on MSNBC's part. Last week there was some back and forth with Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly on Fox News, and Tiffany Cross. They basically attacked her in a sense, and she intelligently, pushed back on the comments that they made about her and attacking her character. So I believe, and many other people believe, that this is one of the reasons that she was let go, because, but for MSNBC to say that she didn't meet the standards, there are basically no standards anymore that I can see, because CNN is right wing now. MSNBC, I'm pretty sure they're right wing, but they're trying to keep it on the DL right now. But with their actions of firing Tiffany Cross a day before her show, I'm sure she was getting ready for her show tomorrow for this weekend, and they just abruptly let her go with no real explanation. I mean, they gave an explanation, but that's not a real explanation. And right before midterms is very, very suspect. So here's an article here from Black America, from the Grio. The Grio. Firing Tiffany Cross shows what MSNBC thinks about its Black viewers. This article was written by Michall Harriot, and he wrote it today, obviously, after we got the news. Everybody got the news on social media. So this is an opinion piece. Why did MSNBC replace the host of one of its most successful shows? Here's one not so great replacement theory. Replacement theory. Editor's note: the following article is an op-ed, and the views expressed are the author's own. Read more opinions on the Grio. And he starts, respect is an oxymoron. It is a noun and a verb. For one to give respect, lose respect, or even pay their respect, they must first have respect. In fact, when someone in African America begins a conversation with no disrespect or ends a sentence with the words respectfully, you can be sure they have very little respect for the person to whom they are talking. Respect is not said, it is shown. On Friday, just days before one of the most important elections in a generation, MSNBC fired Tiffany Cross, essentially telling its black viewers, no disrespect, but we don't respect you, respectfully. Before we begin this opinion column, let's get a few facts out of the way. Number one, I was a frequent guest on the Cross Connection, in case you think I might be biased. I should also note that I was a frequent guest on other MSNBC shows hosted by people who still work at the channel. Cross was not fired for her performance. In less than 2 years, Cross Connection had MSNBC's highest rated weekend program and the best performing show in the key 25 to 54 demographic, according to Media. Cross was not fired for not doing what she promised. From the beginning, Cross promised an unapologetically outspoken program that reflected the sentiments of America's multicultural democracy. Women and black viewers loved Tiffany Cross. An internal MSNBC memo boasted that Cross's audience was 55% female and 35% African American. She was the second most watched weekend cable news show in America behind Al Sharpton's Politics Nation. Conservative right-wingers hated Tiffany Cross. Tucker Carlson accused her of trying to start a white genocide. Megyn Kelly called her a dumb AZZ. And upon hearing the news, the Wicked Witch of the Whites tweeted this, literally no one will miss her. That's Megyn Kelly. And Megyn Kelly is also having her in her white feelings about Meghan Markle being married to a prince, but that'll be another program. These facts explain why Tiffany Cross used her platform to feature a diverse array of voices that are usually absent from cable news coverage, including trans women, Native Americans, and African American elf who disparage Caucasian Santa Claus. No disrespect to Megyn Kelly. When Tiffany Cross called out Clarence Thomas, she was echoing the sentiments of her audience. When she suggested that whites should sit out the debate over Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, she was just saying what many of her viewers thought. By the way, this is not my interpretation. I was actually part of that panel discussion. She was doing exactly what she told MSNBC she'd do when they hired her. Of course, people will argue that MSNBC has a black woman as president, so they can't be racist, blah, blah. But that's not quite how media, television, or America works. And speaking of the black woman president of MSNBC, that's like extra salt in the wound, because white supremacy has a habit of using people, POC, to push their agenda, their white agenda. So basically, they're saying, "Well, we have a black president, so we can't be racist." Well, that's a lie, respectfully. Also, another prime example is Clarence Thomas. Yes, he's on the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, which he and his other right-wing buddies have hijacked, and they're basically holding the country and everybody in it hostage. They are being used as tools. Herschel Walker, the video with Miss Lindsey Graham a week ago where she was speaking for Herschel Walker, saying, "See, we could show the black youth and POC youth that we're not racist because we got a good black one here that we could treat like a pet," basically. So that her being black actually makes the whole situation worse, because she was the one that dropped the hammer and canceled Tiffany's show abruptly. Still, Cross is a black woman who works on a network run by white people, whose main goal is to sell a white product to white people. Before hiring Cross and Joy Reid to the helm of their shows, MSNBC's viewership was nearly as white as Fox News. The network was right to try to grow its viewership by hiring someone who could garner a black audience and use their voice as lived experience as a black journalist as well. And it actually worked, but that's not what MSNBC wants. Just take a look at the hodgepodge of white mediocrity gathered around the table of any random airing of Morning Joe. Extremely mediocre. And then there's Chuck Both Sides Todd and Miss I Can't Get a Sentence Out Andrea Michall. But her emails. And you'll notice an astonishing lack of Joy Reidness or Tiffany Crossing. Then again, why would the network's flagship morning show include its only black primetime anchor or its most successful weekend host when they can get Donnie Douche, the poster child of white privilege, to say things? Who needs to hear what black people with actual backgrounds in journalism think? Between Mika Brzezinski's incoherent babbling and Joe Scarborough's breathless, rambling demagoguery, where would they find the time? Indeed. But that's not why Cross was fired. There has been speculation that Cross's relationship with MSNBC was becoming frayed, Variety reports. Apparently, the executives were concerned about the anchor's willingness to address statements made by cable news hosts on other networks and indulging in commentary executives felt did not meet the standards of MSNBC or NBC News. Cross was fired because she was controversial. She was fired because she was outspoken. She was fired saying what her audience thinks. She lost her job because she did exactly what she said she'd do. When MSNBC hired Tiffany Cross, they got an authentic black voice in everything that follows. They bragged about their black audience and their women viewers. Cross helped them shoot past CNN and prevented competitors like the Black News Channel from gaining a toehold in black households. They loved the ratings, the advertising dollars, and new viewers who were traditionally absent from the cable news industry. In fact, MSNBC's only problem with Tiffany Cross seems to be that she was Tiffany Cross. Nearly 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of interviewing Cross about her new show. I began by noting the misplaced assumption that the recent focus on inclusion is a quasi-benevolent gift to black people. Even the most progressive individuals believe that diversity hires help black employees, when in reality, it is white people who get most of the benefit because input from a diverse array of voices usually improves the product. The days of our community being marginalized are over, Cross said during our interview, announcing her show. Some networks still treat communities of color as though we're the potato, but I'm here to declare unapologetically that we are the steak, not the potato. MSNBC apparently loved everything this black woman did. They just hated her unapologetic blackness, like America, respectfully. And that, again, was an opinion piece by Michall Harriot in the Grio. And at the end of the broadcast, I will post a link to that article so you could go read it and take notes. Let me see here. I'm going to pull up some videos here that I saved from TikTok. And there's another issue. TikTok is the new town square for marginalized voices. And even though we're still having issues with suppression and things like that, TikTok is a major player for our voices being heard. And like my broadcast and the media company I'm working on building, City Scene Productions, I want to use this platform to uplift and have a place for marginalized voices and unheard voices. So let's go on to the video clip here. I think we're going to start here with this one.
Hey fam, in case you haven't heard, NBC just cut ties with Tiffany Cross, and her show was doing fairly well in the ratings. So just to put a tally together for you to give you a bigger picture, HBO Max is under right-wing Republican control. CNN is under right-wing Republican control. Twitter is under right-wing Republican control. All of these initiatives were done right before the midterms. The suppression that black creators are seeing on TikTok is reverberating through media itself. And certain voices are being suppressed and others elevated. We are now a part of the Tower of Babel. Good luck, y'all. Hey, fam, in case you haven't heard.
MSNBC, you just cut Tiffany Cross?
Please go back and watch the original video. MSNBC has cut ties with Tiffany Cross, a black news anchor who spoke on behalf of black community marginalized groups. What I want to point out is I think this is a huge thing about the problem with liberal whiteness is that rather than support the black community and support the needed, not only do we need to support someone like this, but we need to amplify and give them voice. When things are getting tight racially, white people tend to think that having a larger voice for the black community is going to increase racism rather than combat it. And we have to go against that in ourselves, right? That what we need is more voices from diverse communities, more amplification and centering of those voices. That is the amplification of black voices is not what causes racism. It's what brings it to the surface.
And I am also going to read some reactions. These are some reactions that are on Twitter because Twitter has been afire all day long. Because, like I said, Tiffany's voice, especially 3 days out from midterms, is like now there's like a hole in the tire and the air is seeping out because the white journalists are not treating the urgency of us losing our democracy like Joy Reid and Tiffany Cross do, or Tiffany did, and Joy Reid still does right now. We don't know how long it's going to be before they try to, probably clip her wings. But there's an urgency of us because they're run by now right-wing billionaires. All of our media platforms are being bought up by right-wing billionaires. TikTok is now under threat of being by the FCC because they're trying to ask the FCC to take TikTok off of Google Play and Apple's Play Store. Because, like I said, TikTok is our town hall now because we can't depend on Twitter thanks to Mr. Apartheid, trust fund baby Musk. He's allowed his 4chan cult members to run rampant all over Twitter. So it's basically just insufferable right now. But I'm going to read a few of these tweets. These are reactions from people that are upset about Tiffany being let go. Judith says, firing her to appease the bullying white supremacy males at Fox is, women are sick of you cowardly old rich guys insisting on destroying women, democracy to keep yourselves and your ilk rich and powerful. We are done with MSNBC. Peace Lover says, not just Michall, but undereducated Chuck Todd needs to go. I'm worried about Joanne Reed because we need her voice also. Robert says, so why is Andrea Mitchell still there? That's dreadful. Yvette Nicole Brown, she's been tweeting all day about it. She's rightfully upset. She says, I promise you this will not stand. With all the black folks who celebrate, support, and enjoy Tiffany and Cross Connection, She was our weekly destination on MSNBC for real talk about real issues. And trust this MSNBC, we know who made this decision. We see you, sis, the president there. USAF veteran says, your daily reminder that Andrea Mitchell's husband, Alan Greenspan, tanked the U.S. economy so bad that it set the poor and middle class back 40 years, delivered the worst recession since the Great Depression, and has never been held accountable. He will have a subprime in Hades. August says, MSNBC fired her because Fox propaganda doesn't like her. Daily Beast. Additionally, Cross has come under intense fire from conservative media over her increasingly strident commentary about race and white Americans, and the show had long been a source of controversy for MSNBC. Trish says, you know why, the color makes a difference. Ricky says, let me understand this correctly. MSNBC refuses to fire Chuck Todd and Andrea Mitchell, who are both deliberately dreadful at their jobs and paid propagandists, but they'll fire Tiffany Cross, who actually reports news instead of helps the GQP spread lies. Disgusting. Nanette weighs in. Very scary how Trumpism is following Hitler's playbook. DHS, DOD, FBI, DOJ are failing us all, and media. We may become the refugees begging other nations to take us in. Fascism will end our freedoms within 5 years. We could end up with genocide like Germany experienced. And that is definitely true, and we're not fear-mongering. We're basically trying to keep people on their toes. Just be aware, because we know people are busy, but this is desperate. We're desperate. It's like, okay, voices like Tiffany Cross, she covered all of this as well. And we had to wait all week because of all the white anchors and pundits and journalists during the week were cheering on all of the chaos and destruction that the GOP are subjecting us to in this country. Darren says, Black America, we have a problem. And he posts a picture that says, if you've ever wondered what you do during slavery, the Holocaust, or civil rights movement, you're doing it right now. We're in trouble. Yes, okay, and here's my tweet. Adding insult to injury, a Black female executive at MSNBC dropped the axe on Tiffany Cross's show. That's evil. This is distressing. So, but people like me, there are other podcasts out there, but if you like my podcast, if you like my show, I am a peer-supported show. I can, with your help, I can continue to put out more content, better content, and I'm gonna make this into several parts because we're gonna talk about this all through the weekend, up until midterms, until after midterms, because this needs to be addressed, how the media is specifically silencing Black voices. This is really scary. So I will close this out until the next show. I will see you then, and thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, if you have any comments you'd like to make, if you would like to be a guest on the show, go to our website. There's a contact form. Leave a message, leave a voicemail, and I can use your voicemail on an upcoming broadcast. And until then, we will see you on the next show. Thank you again.
We'd like to hear from you. If you'd like to leave feedback, a comment, or ask a question, leave us a voicemail at 615-447-8290. Thank you. We'd like to hear from you. City Scene Productions / Media Company and Seen and Heard podcast are peer supported. All support is greatly appreciated, whether it is equipment or financial. Every little bit helps. Every contribution, however big or small, powers our programming, staff and creators, and sustains our future. Any amount you are able to give to help support our journey and progress will be greatly appreciated. If you would like more info, please go to our contact page to leave a message, and one of the members of our team will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.